Hey, what's up? So today I'm gonna go ahead and try to play a couple of games of with my Esper deck, and been thinking about it since the last time I kind of posted a deck update. Played a couple of offline games a few days ago, just to kind of see how the deck felt. Wasn't anything too crazy, just kind of playing in the play mode, so I didn't really record anything. But basically, felt that the deck is definitely a little bit more difficult to play it now, especially with the loss of memory lapse. So I decided to make a couple of additional changes to try it out with a new kind of an idea, sort of a theme for this deck moving forward. And we're gonna try it out and see how that works. So the idea now that we're gonna be trying out is since we lose out on essentially our main counter on turn two, we're gonna play more hands disruption interaction instead, and which is gonna be kind of like a proactive counter spell. Not as good, but it's better than nothing. So what I decided to try to do here then is I'm gonna try to play Inquisitions alongside Thoughtseize. I almost want to bump up this to 6 just to try it out and see how it is, but with my mana base, there are times where I just don't get black sources and I don't want to be stuck with these cards in hand or not being able to play them early enough to make them worthwhile. The mana base might need to be fixed up a little bit, changed up a little bit, um, but you know that will be dealt with when the time comes. I might play maybe less Godless Shrines, maybe more Drowned Catacombs to kind of make sure I have my blue mana and my black source up, because that's what our deck is geared towards right now. Let me check the values right now. Yeah, we're almost head to head on that. And so, while Godless Shrine is great, it's an untapped a source of like color that we just ping two to ourselves. Um, might be better off playing the Drowns. Actually, I'll make that change right now. I'm gonna go down one and I'm gonna go up there. So I'm gonna make the check lands come in about the same time or same amount. I'm gonna bump up our sources of those. Might be an argument to not even bother playing the Godless Shrine at this point, but I still like um, having only 6 checks, I guess. Any more checks, and I feel like you're gonna run into problems where you're gonna be playing the checks untapped. Um, Granted, we do have, I want to say, so we have what's it, 9 chalks, 5 basics. That will put you at 17 named lands plus the 3 fables. So for the most part, with this mana base, we should be able to fetch ourselves like a color that we're gonna need to play, or a not a color, but a get the correct color combos off to play. So that's the idea with the increased amount of hand disruption here. We're gonna try to up the John unlock. We're primarily gonna use this as early removal and maybe a counter spell here too. We're gonna kind of forego the idea of hard countering our opponent's stuff, um, and more of just disrupting them with our hands disruption. Um, and kind of obviously these will kind of feed into making the John unlock live and a little bit better. Um, Tried out Faithful Absence a little bit, and it works. It's worked okay. Wasn't too bad or anything like that. I didn't really get the chance to play both Narset and the Faithful in the same sort of turn, so I also decided to cut down Narset, namely because a lot of decks aren't really drawing all that much, and there's fair more amounts of aggro lately, and so I'm just gonna be playing less Narset and play more of reaction type decks. So that's why we have more uh, sort of removal and interaction with our hands, our opponent's hand, on top of adding a little bit more sweepers into the deck. Gonna play a total of 4 sweepers in the main. Really need to strive to maintain board control this time around, since we aren't gonna be able to kind of stall our opponents anymore. Because back with memory lapse, I could cut down on the sweepers and just if they play a creature, just memory lapse it. They're gonna draw it again, reinvest their mana, and we're not really at threat of dying per se. Not at threat of them swarming the board as long as we're able to counterspell their creatures and putting it back on top of their deck. We were able to get to the point where we can safely drop our planeswalker and survive. But lately, because of the removal of memory lapse and there's no real good 2 mana counter spells, I think we're not going to be able to control the board as easily as we did before. We're not going to be able to stall the game as much. And so things are going to get out of control real quickly. And so I think having more additional sweepers in the deck are going to be good. We definitely need uh, I think languish here. Reason why I say is I've played against a few decks, especially Weenie Whites, with the dog and the I forgot what's his name. The dog and if I have it here, I'll just show you real quick. I always forget the name of it. The little doggy. So it should be 1 mana. Dog, I just type it in. Is it protection or indestructible? Maybe I'm not looking up the right words here. Either way, I know if you play Arena, you should know what I'm talking about. It's the dog that gives protection, and the other 2 1 mana guy that, oh no, he the 1 mana guy creature. You tap him, you sack him, pay 1 mana, give something protection, and the dog gives indestructible. So and then also merfolks. There's a few cards in merfolk that are also indestructible. Great thing is they're mostly all CMC or toughness 4 and lower, which is great. Even with when they start stacking stuff on their creature, for the most part it doesn't get too crazy, and even other creatures that buff other creatures, for the most part language can usually board wipe safely and get rid of and bypass that. And obviously the anger of or anger of the gods, or not anger of the gods, Day of Judgment and Wrath of Gods, are essentially for things that are just bigger than what language can handle, and just general board clear. So that's changed. I cut down the Typhoon back to 3. 4, it was really cloggy in my hand. There was just times where I just couldn't really do anything with it, and I felt that it was just not doing its intended purpose. So I cut it back down to 3. I think 3 was fine when I played it at 3, and I'm just gonna keep it that way. In terms of additional removal spell that I'm going to be trying out, someone mentioned Vanishing Verse. And Vanishing Verse, I thought it was always on my mind to try to play. But I felt for this deck that a lot of threats that I would be facing would be multicolor. And so I didn't really think Vanishing Verse was quite flexible as, say, like Faithful Absent or Baleful's Mastery, or even like a Murderous Rider, or some other form of removal where they're a bit more flexible against every other kind of matchup. Granted, you do pay for that flexibility. You pay for allowing them to get a clue, allow them to draw extra cards, or taking damage yourself, such like with Murderous Rider or Infernal Graphs. You're losing life in exchange for the essentially no drawbacks. So all the 2 manas removal spells in the game have drawbacks to kind of balance them, which makes sense, and that's fair. So here we're gonna try out Vanishing Verse. Great thing is it hits any permanent except for lands, basically, because lands are colorless, so you can't really target a land. It does, for the most part, miss most artifacts, because most artifacts don't have a color associated with them, especially like ramp cards and stuff like that. In terms of enchantments, enchantments I see the most would be some of the Ranger class cards, or class cards in general, which are tentatively monocolored, which is fine. This will probably hit it. Some sagas are also monocolored, But in terms of enchantments in general, not too many enchantments are being played anyway, so I think we're okay with hitting mainly just creatures with this, is what I think I'm going to be hitting. Especially with a lot of mono red creatures that are, and mono black creatures that are a threat, and even mono white creatures. So those creatures we're probably going to need to hit with Vanishing Verse, and Vanishing Verse is good against indestructible stuff, which is great, you know. Granted, we don't really oftentimes run into like a mono creature that is indestructible per se, for the most part, unless they're weenie white with that get built in. Well, not built in, but other creatures that grant creatures that ability. Um, in terms of side deck, I threw my fourth thought season here. Maybe thinking about bumping up the rest in peace. I guess the only issue here is it kind of conflicts with Drowning Lock. Um, Obviously, if you get Rest in Peace out first, you're not gonna really be able to play Drowning Lock. So, in this sense, if you play Rest in Peace, you're probably gonna side out the Drowns. You're gonna side that out for something else. I threw in an additional Vanishing Verse just to see in the side deck. Have my second Veto in here. Veto, I also thought in the main deck wasn't too great. Um, we're not really gonna be facing too many combo decks or too many um, other control decks in the rank I'm in right now, which is kind of platinum, low platinum. I haven't really been climbing. There's not too much other control decks that I've been playing against. I've been playing against mostly creature-based decks, which is understandable because a lot of people are looking for quick games, something that's generally a higher win rate, yeah, easier to, I guess, to pilot because you're being very aggressive with your strategy, and so you're gonna win more games more often. Therefore, you're gonna be able to climb a bit quicker than playing something like a control deck, which takes a lot more time to pilot, and arguably is a little bit more skill intensive because you do have to think about your moves. You do have to. Oh, every move you make makes an impact on your game plan in general, and so I mean I like playing that style, but it is definitely a lot slower to climb out of rank with. Speaking of which, I'm probably gonna spend this season. It's already late in the season, and I haven't really played too much as I thought I would have. It's just been caught up with other stuff. So I'm gonna probably spend the season just playing the deck, seeing how it runs. I'm not really gonna be focusing on trying to climb out of rank or climb into like mythic or anything this season. With the ban list and everything, and with the evolving meta, I'm gonna try out probably this deck quite a bit, just to test out some of the cards to see how that works out and some of the strategies here. And yeah, that's basically kind of the update right now. The Archmage charms at 4 were great, so I think we'll keep it at 4 right now. In terms of that, I think that's really it here. Um, Anything else here? Yeah, that's really it. So we'll go ahead and try out a game or two. Hopefully, we'll go well, and we'll go from there. Okay. Really don't have any interaction here. Keeping his hand of 7. We won't be active until turn 3. Against a fast aggro deck, we're probably just gonna lose if we don't have any way to interact. Granted, I don't like molding down again. Yeah, let's just go ahead and mold again. Okay, this we can keep. Probably just throw the Languish in. Cause we're gonna keep the Archmage charms. They're gonna be our counter spells and our draw cards here. And hopefully this will go well. Interesting. Okay. I'm not too sure what to expect of this deck just yet. Quite interesting. I may want to kill this thing. So that way, it doesn't transform. Because he's about to be able to transform it, and then this is gonna proc off of that. I mean, I could try to Archmage Charm next turn too. To maybe take control of the Willow Gist if it gets pretty big. I'm gonna preemptively hit this then. If things get out of control, we can Archmage Charm one of the creatures. Okay. A Fatal Push. Great. It's double Fateless Storm. Probably stop him right before combat. I'm gonna go ahead and steal that with the Archmage Charm. Quite a few lines of play here. I'm gonna just go ahead and hit his hand then. Another one of these. Non-creature, non-land permanent. I don't think that's gonna really do much, but I think we just hit the gist here. And let's just say pass our turn. We might try to it's unclear if he plays any form of removal. I would assume he's playing some sort of Fatal or something, but we haven't really seen anything. Could just be a really fast aggro strategy. It looks like he's already out of the Whittle Gist, unless he has like Unearth or something. He can attack. Can maybe play this. I mean, I could just not block with it, and I wouldn't really care as much. That's fine. Him getting a land back's not really too bad for me. That's fine. Hmm. I might do drown here and then try to shark next turn. Unfortunately, we don't have planes. But at this point, he probably thinks we're playing through mirror control and not Esper, but that's kind of funny. I don't think I'm under threat of anything, per se. Yeah, we can just keep our mana open. Worst comes to worst, we can create a win-win shark token. Let this thing die. Let's let the shark token block that, and then kill two other things with the fatal pushes. He does have Croxa though, which is an issue. Yeah, that's gonna be a bigger issue for us than anything else here. Our main deck doesn't really have any graveyard hate, so definitely game 2 we can cyborg a bunch of graveyard hate, but right now I think he's deciding whether to escape Croxa. Okay, that makes sense. Get rid of this. Do I want to get the Croxa here or wait until he enters combat? Drown and lock, cool. Okay, that's fine. Hmm. Might have been better to kill that thing with a fatal last turn. Let's see if it commits any cards. If he does Fateless Looting, we can go ahead. Fatal push this real quick. We might fatal push that, counter Croxa. We are losing out on cards though. casting of that. Probably will have to counter it. Yeah, it's not that important, I guess. Looks like just push this here. Get rid of that real quick.
If you wish to surrender now, hone your prowess.
Tough choice. I'm probably gonna go with the Archmage's Charms. I don't even have the white source right now to even oops, to proc the maybe I have too much too much. I drew all three Drown Catacombs. One of them could have been the Godless Shrine. It's a little weird. We saw only one white land, but we haven't played any other. We can take the 3, block one of the tokens. That way we can proc Narset again and also block him from Fateless Looting this turn. A little dangerous on life here though.
I must stay focused.
I think he is gonna try to Croxa. I don't see why he wouldn't.
Open mind.
Well, the greedy me says I should just double Archmage Charm, to be honest. I could Teferi, right? And still have Archmage Charm up. Yeah. I want to take the damage anyway, I might as well do this. Let's see where he swings his card at. My health? Sure. Doesn't have quite enough to Croxa again. I don't know if I want an Archmage Charm. I might want to save that as a counter spell. But I'm also at risk of just being pained to death if he has a something like a stomping giant. 3 mana. Tough choice. If I counter it, next turn I for sure have to deal with the Croxa somehow. I let it resolve, I will have to deal with his board or die to his board. I can Archmage Charm to draw 2 and maybe potentially deal with his board that way. None of it particularly seems too appealing here. I would have to Archmage Charm again for another Archmage Charm. That's our only real counter here. We'll let it resolve. I'm gonna try to hopefully draw a board wipe and somehow also be able to deal with the Croxa next turn. I might be able to stall it out if I put this into hand. Not exactly what I was hoping for. Double land, that's unfortunate.
Let's skip to the good part.
Okay. Okay. Well, I am out of Croxa range for now. But his graveyard is getting quite mighty. If he commits to a Croxa, I can maybe shuffle it back with Teferi and just take the 3. If he plays double Croxa, I'm probably dead. But I do have 2 cards I can discard if it gets a little hairy. I'm gonna probably just get rid of the Watery Graves. Just gonna let it resolve.
Let's take it back.
Ah, I ran out of freaking Adobe Beetles in life. Ah, I should have saw that one coming. That's fine. Okay. Um, definitely won't be getting these. Definitely need the rest in peace. Probably take out the drowns. Not gonna be too good this matchup. Probably play this in case he casts his Croxa. More graveyard hate. Basically all the graveyard hate we can muster. I think we're good on sweepers here. And draw. Might not need these searches as much either. He wasn't really playing any spells that we care for. I guess a board wipe would be nice here. Additional board wipe. Yeah, why don't we go with this and see how this goes. Take out all the Thoughtseize and the Inquisition. They're never really that good against graveyard decks. You're gonna just be feeling their strategy anyways. If you can cast a Rest in Peace, it would be pretty much game. I'm thinking about bumping up Rest in Peace. I mean, it's a really good anti-graveyard hate and whatnot. Maybe I'll look into that. I guess the only issue with Rest in Peace is I don't want to see multiple copies. I guess that won't. You see like two in your opening hands, or if you dead draw them, then yeah. But I don't know. I think two's been okay for me because I also have Kaya, Gold Blank, and some other graveyard hate, so should be able to see those just fine. Unlucky that the biggest decision in that game that I don't know if I was playing it correctly was to either draw two cards or just counter his creature. Uh, so that was a little difficult for me to decide there. I'm gonna grab a white source. I'm gonna try to get Kaya out. We have some form of interaction. The red here, the Gus is not that great, honestly. But I'm putting it in for Croxa, namely. Um, he plays a few other red cards like the that one guy, and no face looting and stuff like that. So there's a valid reason as to play this, but it's not super duper strong. But we'll see. Otherwise, if we can get our third land, we're going first, so if we can get our third land, that would be fantastic here. We'll probably shock ourselves next turn just to have both the Aether Gus and Fatal active. I'm not quite sure what's taking so long here. Either he disconnected, maybe? I mean, it doesn't feel good winning by disconnection, honestly. I want to play my deck to be able to test play it, whether I'm losing or winning. If I lose, I can at least understand what went wrong or what I was doing incorrectly. But if I just win like this, it doesn't really bring much satisfaction. I guess the only time I would be okay with winning like this is if I was about to jump to the next rank or something. But yeah. So it looks like he disconnected. So I wouldn't really say that was a victory. Yeah. Cool. Completed some of my quests there. let's just move on to the next game. Get some more repetition in. Yeah, let's go play on the play. Fairly decent hand. Alright, I'll go ahead and Inquisition. Clean the dust, sensor. Just hit the sensor. He's playing a Grixis control deck. Interesting card. I think that's a keepable card, right? Maybe he'll expressive, or if he's just gonna cycle, maybe? Yeah, it's interaction, why not? We'll shock ourselves just in case we need to play both. Oh! I forget that I can only cast one, honestly. A great card, but we don't have the mana base for it at the moment. Might just pitch it to try to draw a land instead. Drew that, so that wasn't much better. I'm gonna do that. There's no way for him to cast Bolus next turn. It'll be a while. I'm not quite sure. Looking at his mana base, I'm not too sure how he's casting Bolus. I kinda wanna see a land, to be honest. We're gonna play into it. Okay. We're gonna start Castle Arundeling. So I guess Censor is the other decent replacement card. Still doesn't have enough for Bolus quite yet. That's fine. We'll probably hit our Faithful Absence. I don't see why he wouldn't. Baby Bolus, Baby G. I was thinking of Fatal pushing it and just Archmaging the draw too, but I think just hard countering it would be better. Huh. Oh. I guess I wouldn't be able to cast that anyways. What do we want to do here? I'm gonna cycle through our deck now. try to draw all of our answers. Alright. Go ahead and hard counter that. Graveyard, delete that. Decline. Cool. That's a card. No, we are gonna let him decide what he wants to do here. Just gonna make a big shark token.
You should bow in the presence of a deity. I would show you mercy, but that doesn't seem fun. Oh no, all your filth is gone.
Wait for him to cast that before we Sharknado. Like 4, 5, not quite enough to kill the bolus though. I assume he would just want to draw 2 cards with it. Unless he really wants to take control of that. We can also I'm gonna try to dig for a my big Teferi. Vanishing Verse. Against this deck, probably not too great. Definitely in the pickle now.
You think you can kill a god?
I want to leave my Archmage Charms up. I don't mind if he exiles cards in my hand because I have a bunch of dead cards anyways.
A mind is an easy thing to waste.
Well, he got my Teferi. Probably have to counter it, yeah. See, in this case, that's what I would have liked the that's sort of like the absentee over
And dream of me.
absentee so I can get rid of Planeswalker, because this deck definitely absolutely cannot deal with Planeswalker outside of using other Planeswalkers to deal with it.
Gods can protect you now.
I'm not too sure what he's doing here.
Creeping, thieving, you fool! mind is an easy thing to win.
Languish.
A wonderful
Yeah, that's
addition
pretty
to
good.
my army.
Maybe I should do that first. I'll commit everything to here.
I'll kill you for that.
Problem here is I can kill it next turn, but he's gotta keep casting free cards from my deck, which is not good. I could try to trade to the Planeswalker. I'm gonna be weak to him, just his top deck next turn. Why not? I have a better top deck game than he's going to.
Conceivable. Fade into the shadow.
I'm not sure why he's playing so many Is It cards, to be honest.
I know what must be. We need to move quickly.
Yeah, some of his decisions that game, I wasn't quite sure. And he's playing so many, definitely a lot of Is It cards that just wasn't making sense to me. I guess. Definitely gonna take all these fatals. They're not gonna be too good this matchup. Same with our board wipes. He barely played any creatures. Played a god or two. I'm gonna do this. I'll play this. More hard counters. I don't think Vanishing Verse is gonna do anything. He's playing multicolor cards. Gold Blank is always good against those matchups. So, maybe I keep the Languish against Bolus. Maybe a couple of Fatals against the Bolus. AVG. See in that prime example there, that's why I prefer the Faithful Absence, because I know this deck just cannot deal with certain planeswalkers, especially multicolored planeswalker. Single monocolored planeswalkers aren't as troublesome as multicolored planeswalker. Nicobolas, Teferi, Ashiot, you know, and so that's why I think I might just go back to Faithful Absence at 2 and maybe bump up Narset. Narset would have been definitely nice that game if I could have drawn her. But alas, that's just a game in general here. Yeah, he plays so. I saw 2 black sources, but that's kind of crazy. He draw all those land and none of them were black sources. So I guess he's playing mostly an Is It build with splash of black in there. It's Grixis, sure, but it's not like traditional Grixis. Traditional Grixis, you're mainly focused on black sources. I mean, it could just be that he was unlucky and all he drew was his Is It color, but even then, like he played a lot of basics and a lot of things I would say is quite questionable. This would be pretty rad if we get this search off. We'll be able to dig through our lands and have counter spells up. Pretty good. Pretty good. Let's just go ahead and do this first. I'm gonna fetch for a island. He might have something like a potentially a Mystic Dispute. Oh, maybe an opt? I do hope he opts and gets some cards in the grave for me to make my drown active. Okay, cool. Got our sources of colors that we need. Let's just play that into a search. Next turn we'll play Glacial. We might play a Narset or something, but we can't help it. There's nothing for us to deal with it right now. I say Drown is pretty good, but he doesn't really have a well-developed grade. But we do want to try. Let's just do this then. I'm gonna play Pasco against the Grixis deck here. This will allow us to draw some stuff out. Not quite unfortunate. Do we want this right now? We already have a lot of counterspell and reactive cards. Probably don't need this. Play this in case he censors again. I'm going to try to Archmage Charm into the Astronaut next turn. He's tapping out for that. Let's just go ahead and counter it then. Dispute's a good keep. He's tapped out. We should be able to safely play an Astronaut. At least get something on board here. He might be able to bowl this and get rid of Ashiot or Uptick. Okay, fine. That's fine. Ashiot did a 2-for-1. Okay, that's perfect. Let's just pass turn. We'll have search flip up. All lands lose mana ability. Pretty good. I do want my search up though, and I want to be able to outdo him, so. That he's gonna draw a card off of it. I'm not gonna give him any ability to draw. Don't need another land. Split. He's tapped out. Oh. Works for us.
Trust me. Hold that thought.
Untap our search. If it doesn't do anything, we'll just go ahead and search again. I mean, we could let him die. We do have another copy of it in our hand. We could. I mean, either way, This matchup was pretty maybe pretty brutal for him. I think he misplayed a lot of things, missided. I mean, it's not how I would build Grixis in my opinion. I get it. He's going for big mana, a lot of removal, a lot of like threats, but I don't know. He was just kind of playing into our entire deck here. The only card that caught me off, and I should have expected it, was the Sensor. I mean that was fine. I could have tried to play around it if he had it. Cool. If he didn't, I was just gonna draw 2 cards. So whatever. It wasn't the worst. Yeah, he just kept casting stuff into our counter spells. And we were able to Ash out 2 for 1. I don't quite know if he main decks the Heartless. Like B-Double is great against my deck, you know, like it's just easy removal against the Teferi and whatnot. But everything else, like Blood Sun was okay. It would have probably negated my search, which is valid. I countered it namely because I think I wanted my search to be active throughout the game. Plus, he would have drawn the card off of it, and so I was just gonna 1-for-1 him rather than letting him get the 2-for-1 on me, and essentially negate my game plan later down the line. Okay, probably do one more set, and I'll see how that goes. So actually, maybe I'll make a change to the deck here real quick. So, as you can kind of see, I didn't really found the time and place to cast the Vanishing Verse, especially in the best of 3 format. A lot of my threats that I needed to deal with were multicolor, and there wasn't a single target in both games I played today that maybe Vanishing Verse would have been good, you know. I mean, I like it as a card. I like the fact that it's so versatile against a lot of things, but I can't quite justify its narrowness, I guess, to continue playing the deck. I already have enough single target removal against creatures, so like I don't think I need this against, because this card is great removal, especially against creatures. There's a lot of creatures that are threats that are monocolor. But what I find that I struggle in this deck with is struggling against planeswalkers. As you can kind of see, I had to wait until I drew my own planeswalker in order to deal with his planeswalkers, and I honestly, you'd rather not be doing that. You'd rather be using your planeswalker to generate advantage rather than, you know, trying to 1-for-1 the other planeswalker. And especially their 5 mana, they're not meant to be used to be played that way. Ideally, I would have, you know, had a Thoughtseize or something, you know, get rid of that. But you know, that obviously didn't really come in time for me to deal with his boluses in his hands and stuff like that. The first game, I get it. He was a little unlucky. He didn't draw his 3rd source of black. He might have probably ended the game a lot sooner. If he was able to cast that. I mean, granted, he was able to cast the Super G. I mean, he was putting in work, and I just couldn't really answer him. I could have made a big shark token, but I was afraid he was going to Archmage Charm. I wasn't sure why he didn't cast the Archmage Charm just to draw 2, or even just steal a creature from me, or something. You know, that wasn't I was quite under the impression that he was gonna end his turn, wait for this for me to maybe shark or something, and then steal it with Archmage Charm. Honestly, I was honestly hoping he would cast Archmage Charm, draw 2 cards. I would have made a 5/5 shark or a 4/4 shark or whatever, and then try to combat Big G with the shark. But he ended up not doing that, and so that kind of threw my game plan off off the rails too. I think I just end up tapping search just to draw whatever and go off of that. Um, And then game two, he just played into every single counter spell we had, and so I think I just won off of being able to get something to stick on the board, and he couldn't answer it. And he played a lot of removal that I don't think was gonna be too good against me. Like, you know, you see, yeah, you see my companion, you see that there's a potential for me to play cats, elementals, and whatever else. But I guess that's the one thing is when you reveal a companion, you reveal a lot of information to your opponent, and so you reveal that, oh, okay, he's playing Kahira, so he's probably the only creatures in his decks can only be these creatures, right? Same thing with Loris. If you play a Loris, obviously your deck's not going to be composed of anything with a permanent CMC2 and higher, so they can kind of tutor their sideboarding against you or their game plan against you. For me, Kahira has always been kind of just there because as an extra additive card when I need to. Oftentimes it's just a discard outlet, a discard fodder. When he does come on come onto the board with Ashiot, he is a good game closer, good pressure. Um, but that sometimes I feel like this card kind of throws my opponent for a loop. But I mean, if they're playing against my deck, they should have seen that I haven't cast anything with a creature. So I'm kind of surprised that they they're still citing creature hate against me. It makes sense because I do have sharks, and so I mean it's still a valid card to hit with creature removal, and I still do generate tokens with Nightmare. But it's very like I it's a very dead card though. Like a lot of creature removal board wipes are very dead against me. So and if they are playing that, it's oftentimes these cards are generating free tokens anyways. So it's not like I'm losing cards and then because they decided to board wipe me. So if they're board wiping my tokens, that's perfect. I mean that's fine with me. I'm um, okay with that unless I'm pushing for game or something. That might suck. So far I may take out the vanishing and just add in our absentee. I almost wanted to say I wanted to see Narset some more. A couple of times they were drawing cards, and I do almost want to see Narset a little bit more. Tough choice though, tough choice. The board wipes. Yeah, it almost seemed kind of dead too. I might revert back to 3, given my reasoning that there's still a lot of of um a lot of creature-based decks running around in the format. That time, I'm still playing against a lot of other control decks, at least in best of 3. Maybe I'll bump it back down to just 3 and bump Narset up. Maybe remove the verse, put back the absentee or the Belful's masteries. Hard to say. Because Belful Mastery is absolutely worse against a creature-based deck because you're casting it for 2 mana. They're definitely going to be drawing a card. But at the same time, maybe I could just play 1 of 1. So it gives me the flexibility whether I want to Belful's Masteries or if I want to Faithful SMT. I mean, I like both cards. I really do like both cards. Belful's Mastery's got the upside of it avoiding indestructible stuff, which for the most part, I think this deck is okay combating that. We have Language, we have Archmage Charm. Anything that usually is indestructible is usually just 1 mana anyways, and so it's like cool. They decide to pump that creature up full of enchantments and stuff like that. I'll just take control of it. Not the worst thing. Same thing in Modern. If someone's playing like a Batterskull or Cauldron Complete or something like that, just cool. Thanks for the free 5/5, free 7/7 or whatever. Same thing with when you're playing against like Hammer Time or something. They have like a 10-10 creature, like turn 2 or 3 or whatever. You know, if you survive that, you can just Archmage Charm their creature, and they're kind of like, oh, yeah, Archmage Charm is definitely a really, really good card. Because of that stealing ability. Um, so let's see. I think I can kind of revert back to my previous version here. Let's see. I think I do want to play like Cleansing Nova. Maybe I want to take out because I haven't played against a lot of enchantment or artifact decks, but when I do, these things are absolutely game winning. I mean, I wish we had what is it Fractal Gust would be better, but this also gives the flexibility of killing creatures when we need to. And I guess I never really needed that many board wipes, but having language is great because you can kill in non-indestructible stuff. I think I have enough graveyard hate. Yeah, I might just take out the verse here completely from the deck. Yeah, it wasn't really doing what I wanted to do. So maybe we'll do this, up this, put one in the side, and do a Baleful maybe. Baleful is kind of like a terrible card, I guess, in some sense, but I like playing it. Um, it, it it took me through Mythic, and I can't really say bad things about it. You know, at least for that time period. But Faithful might just replace it as a better card in general. But that's yet to be seen. So taking a look at my mana breakup here, I'm still in under the 3 average. Um, reduce a little bit of that, up this. How does my land base look? Yeah, I think I'm okay with running just the one Godless. In my modern deck, I don't even play Godless because you almost always want Archmage Charm active by turn 3 because it's a very fast format. Here, I can take a little bit more liberty. Plus, by turn 3, I can probably just drop a Narset and she'll eat up some damage, you know, whatnot. She's not the greatest in this deck, but she's not the worst either. She'll dig for her answers, hopefully. The Veto, I haven't gotten any play out of it, I guess. I could just remove Veto completely and just play 4 Drowning Lock and call it a day. I'm thinking. Because Drown's been still pretty good. Mid to late game, it's been definitely a great card. It feels good knowing that no one else is really playing any counter spells. To be honest, once the removal of Memory Lapse, I haven't really got into my spells counter per se, unless it's going to game 2 where they're citing disputes maybe. But yeah, like no one's really been countering spells, and so yeah. Any other thing? Go blank was fine. Kaya's still a really underrated planeswalker. Really like her. Won me several games. Yeah, I think we'll try out this. Let's go for this. We'll do one more set here, and then I'm gonna probably take a break and go play some more janky games. I just bought R-Type Final. That was on sale on Steam, so I'll be playing some R-Type Final. I love my side-scrolling shoot 'em up games. Grew up playing arcade games when I was a kid, and yeah, I really just like side-scrolling games. Probably play some, put some additional videos and stuff on here. Other games I play. Merfolk. Very tricky. She's the toughest to deal with. So I think I'm gonna take her. Even though the silver adept will give him an extra card advantage. Um, that's fine. Hmm. I don't know if I want to leave anything on the board. Yet. At least. I want to try to bait him into a shark, maybe. Maybe. Because I'm thinking there's a possibility. Okay, well, I can't do that anymore, but I can do this. If he swings in with the masters, so we can try to block with the shark. He might try to flash in a merfolk to try to tap it out. That's fine. Collect the company, sure. He might get something to bust it up. Yep, he did. He did indeed. Ugh, I made a mistake here. I should have shocked in the watery graves. Be taking quite a bit of damage, unfortunately. I'm gonna try to kill this. That's 5 mana that you can play another. I'm gonna kill the masters. Fatal.
I won't hide from the world any longer.
I'm gonna return
Let's
this.
take it back a step.
Try to stall. See what he does here. Been running into a lot more merfolk decks. They're actually been pretty good. I pray he swings everything in the face. Might be able to survive with 1 health. do need a board wipe though. Faithful absentee is not gonna do it.
Keep up the pace.
Very nice. Hmm. At least he's tapped out.
Let's skip to the good part.
I can't play it. Oh, wait. If I tap my mana incorrectly, then I won't be able to play it. 6 mana. No, I didn't walk untapped. Ah, dang it. Yeah, unfortunately I didn't have another removal there. That's fine, that's fine. Like, Domin Vito is great against the great against the Coco command. But it's a little too slow otherwise. Yeah, that Coco command flipped the game on us. I think I'm just gonna try to survive with a lot of removal here. I mean, I don't even know if Thought Seizes are even worth it, honestly. And we just play straight removal. Kaya will hit a couple things, but most of the creatures 2 mana, so Kaya's gonna cut it. They draw a little bit, and they're kind of aggro, so I don't think I want to play more than 2 Nard sets right now. Yeah, we're just gonna hopefully go early, remove threats. Yeah, it was a close game. If he didn't have their top deck or something, I would have been able to stabilize the turn after, I would think. That's just quite unfortunate. Sure. I get our colors up here. I could just not do anything here. It may be a mistake, but we'll have to see. I could double fatal at this point. last turn. I try to Archmage Charm and it into a board wipe next turn. Probably Cleansing Nova or something. Decent. I think I want to Inquisition first. Maybe he'll flash something in and then we can just board wipe with Day of Judgment. Okay. I mean, it took out the spell Pierce, that's fine. We'll let it resolve. We'll decline to play. It was a 1-for-1 card, so that was fine with us. Okay, he's down on cards. We'll pass turn. I think we can start running away with this game now. I'm gonna play the Narset to try to build up our threats here.
Just the trick for this.
Maybe I could Inquisition. Oh, you played right into that. He. Oh, okay. Ah, so maybe I should did the. I guess I played into him, not thinking he had another counter spell in there. That's fine. I mean, I have a Cleansing Nova, so it's fine with me here.
You are a mighty warrior. I can see.
I almost think Aethergust might be pretty good here too, because he plays a lot of green. And that kind of counters the, I think Baleful is probably not going to be too good. Too expensive. Play this. Keyboard board wipes up. He is playing quite a bit of counter spells. And we may want to interact with his hand a little bit more. I don't, being that this matchup is so quick, I don't think we're ever gonna be able to safely play Search's Kanta safely and resolve it without just straight up dying. Narset might be slow going second. I think you want more interaction. The many board wipes that we play, 6 board wipes, I would say did its job. It's a very close game though. Him going first is gonna be really bad for us here. I don't know how to combat that effectively outside of just playing a lot of hand disruption. And just hopefully top deck better. I might just remove all of this and play as much interaction as I can. Whether it be in his hand or his board. We are going to try to answer it as much as possible rather than playing for value. That's not good. Alright, we'll keep. I want to keep the judgment for the board wipe because I don't know if I'll see another judgment anytime soon. Shark might be slow. Shark might be the slowest, so I think this is what we'll have to deal with. Going to island for a turn. Man, it's gonna be rough. Might Fable for a... hard to say. Our drown is kind of dead right now. I was hoping to draw hand interaction in our opening hand, but unfortunately that did not come to pass. Fabling into a plains. Might be the play here. So we need double white for sure. Yeah, it's gonna be clocking this real quick. I'm gonna remove any sort of counter spells you might have up. Fortunately, he already has one up. Our best we can do here is Aether Gust this, take a little bit of damage, and we'll go from there. Okay. He still only has one card in here. Wait. I think he does get it if he counters this though. We don't have any way to deal with this. Yeah, he has one card in his grave. Destroy this. He'll survive. And he's gonna remove my card, my drown in my hand. I'll draw a card, but I should be able to board wipe the next turn. Very nice. I'm going to play this one, namely because he doesn't know I have another Cleansing Nova in hand. So he might commit more to the board doing this. what we are definitely hoping for. Oh my god. The topic of the year. Top decks of the year. Yeah, I don't see a way for me to survive this. Dang, we were so close. So close. Dang. Yeah. He top decked the Coco. Uh, and he committed to his board. He got punished for it twice. But unfortunately, that last Coco really into two of his silver gill, which filled his hand. Ah, yeah. Earlier, I could have forced him to play the tested, but I would have died to his board anyway. So I wanted to wait and see. But yeah. I mean, all in all, I think we performed pretty well with the new changes so far. I mean, we are gonna lose games here and there. That's fine. That's just the nature of Magic. Bit disappointed in the Merfolk game. Have we not been playing ranked? Or maybe we have. We've just been losing a lot. But that's their glitch. Because I think I've won a couple of games. I lost 2 games this one. Won the last one, I think. Either way, it doesn't really matter too much. Like I said, I'm not really too focused on climbing right now. Focus on seeing what this deck needs to work on and going from there. So Drown, obviously in the early game, it was a little dead, but it paid off in dividends later in the mid range or the mid game. Fatals were especially good. I didn't really see Faithful or Language, so that didn't really matter too much. The 6 board wipes we played were pretty good. Unfortunately, did have some of the counter spells, and we had to play through that. Couldn't help that, honestly. Bad opening hand game 3. I drew 7 lands, which is nigh improbable, but that was it. I was down the card that could have answered his board, maybe. I don't know if it was correct to put the shark back. I think it is, because it was just going to be a 1/1 blocker, maybe 2/2 blocker at best. And with him just pumping up his creatures like that, I don't think it would have done much. I think what I did by removing essentially all the value cards and just playing straight interaction with the Merfolk was fine. Unlucky that he top decked pretty well there. Well, yeah, but we played to the best of what we could do. Anyways, that's it for now. I'll go ahead and test out this deck a little bit more in rank and make some changes here and there. Probably honestly take out the Dolmen's Veto. I think Dolmen's Veto is just not that great in the main. I haven't seen it, and there wasn't really a time that I wish I had it, I guess. There's a time that I did have it and I still lost the game with it because I couldn't even cast it because it was out of white source. So maybe Forge Lock is the way to go, honestly. And maybe bump up even the Thought Seizes and stuff to a higher number. Might be the way to go. I do want to keep one of each of these to kind of deal with Planeswalkers. I have no other answer cheap removal cards against Planeswalkers outside of a Teferi and and Ashiok, which are not very good outs to them. Um, Obviously the Inquisitions and the Thought Seizes would be great. Um, hands interaction with the Planeswalker, never letting them hit the board is ideal. Um, Cyborg was okay. I mean, our Cyborg pretty much stayed unchanged throughout the games, and I think for what we faced and for what we did, it was good. I don't think I would change too much more out of it. Um, Maybe I can cut the Thoughtseize or just main the Thoughtseize and play the one Inquisition in the main, just for a total of 5/5. You know, it would be pretty painful though, but we are playing a little bit less Shocklands and far more removal than we were previously. Um, so that might be an argument to do that. Maybe I can try that. Uh, Dovin's Veto. Yeah, Dovin's Veto. I might just put it to my sideboard because as I don't really need it too much in the main. Drown was good. Yeah. Only problem with Drown is if I play 4 Drowns and I start to play Graveyard Hate, I have to find something to replace it with. And I guess I could replace it with the Beetles and the Aether Gus and the, other stuff, but we'll have to see. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy some of the gameplay here, and we'll see you guys next time.